100 days. 100 days. Yo. 100 days. Yo. Joseph Boga, fake vision for Afonso. Yo. Joseph Boga is a walking contradiction. Yo. Yes, you know this. Joseph Boga. The way you must rescue your conscience. The way. Rescue your conscience. I'll be rescued. The way. The master I hope you want you. The way. The master I'm losing off. The way. The back and parties stay around. Yo. Viva, Education Party. Viva, Banga Education Party. Viva. Down, Rescue Mission, down, Stephen Baka, down, United Party Alliance, down. Yo, the Banga Education Party will be the only voice of the Nigerian people. Yo. It has been more than 120 days since the old school president and the defeating president, Joseph Boga, assumed the leadership of our country, having been sworn into office on January 22nd, 2024, in keeping with the 1986 Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. He started Article 53, which calls for the president and the vice president before entering into office or before assuming their duties as president and vice president, respectively, of the Republic of Liberia, to sue to an oath that they are going to protect the Constitution and defend all of the laws in the Constitution. Unfortunately, more than 20 days after, Mr. Joseph Boga, who sought to protect the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, has consistently violated the Constitution. He has been parading and masquerading in the cesspools of lies and deception. Distinguished pressmen and presswomen of the Republic of Liberia, conscious university students of the University of Liberia, sons and daughters of the dejected masses of the Liberian people, permit me to extend to you, in keeping with massacred protocols, to extend to you warm revolutionary greetings from the indomitable revolutionary Banga Education Party, Africa's most persistent, Africa's biggest hub of intelligentsia in the Republic of Liberia. Fellow progressive men, fellow progressive journalists, fellow conscious students of the University of Liberia, before I proceed, permit me to extend to you revolutionary greetings from the revolutionary Banga Education Party. To proceed, we recognize the ideological leaders of the 31st Central Committee and Politburo of the Revolutionary Banga Education Party. Let's begin recognizing Kwame Adeolog, Abraham Tamandura, the man who represents the Science College at the level of who represents the Agriculture College at the level of the Central Committee of the Revolutionary Banga Education Party. Kwame Adeolog, Abraham Tamandura, you have our esteemed revolutionary honor. Permit me to also recognize Kwame Central Committee, Odysseus Claude Lumumba Mova, the man who served as co-chair and Reverend Restored Emeritus of the Revolutionary Banga Education Party. Odysseus Claude Lumumba Mova represents the student of the Science College at the level of the Central Committee of the Banga Education Party. Permit me to also recognize the sacred presence of Kwame Adeolog Peter Fankoli, the man who represents the Business College at the level of the Central Committee of the Revolutionary Banga Education Party. If you don't know what the Central Committee is, we must inform you that the Central Committee of the Revolutionary Banga Education Party is the highest decision maker of the party in the House of General Congress.
National tendency. Joseph Boga. The Banga Party is coming for you. Yo.
And so that today, that the Student Education Party has conferred here at S-Party headquarters to respond to the decision and last from Mr. Joseph Boga in his premise on the mandate of the 31st Central Committee and Politburo of the Banga Education Party. So, Kwame Adeolog Peter Fankoli, you have a distinct honor. And make me also to recognize the absentia all ideological leaders of the 31st Central Committee of the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party. Permit me to enter into the board of you to recognize in absentia, come radio law having cover the Treasurer General of the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party. Permit me to recognize in absentia, come radio law having a board judge, the Financial Secretary of the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party. Permit me, fellow journalists and fellow students of the University of Liberia, to recognize come radio law George Picard, the Assistant Secretary General of the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party. Of course, permit me to recognize the most prolific and most powerful writer in the Republic, the man who has the ability to cross all the Secretary Generals of Revolutionary Reactionary Parties that are parading the corridor of our country. Incoming Adollah, Incoming Mohammed Shabazz Jallow, Alamago S., Weber J. Emeritus of the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party. Propaganda Chair Emeritus of the Bengal Student Education Party. Secretary General of the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party. Of course, the member to recognize the absentia from the Adollah, Javali Branier, Timba Ellison, the co-chair Governmental Affairs of the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party. And to recognize the absentia, the co-chair for Party Affairs, the Adollah, Comecadre, Kerry Aluwa Matua. So, comrades, I don't have the revolutionary grace or the revolutionary fortitude to recognize the chairman of the Student Education Party. So, therefore, I will lead down with the Secretary General of the Student Education Party, who will recognize the chairman of the Student Education Party, who gave the official position of the Bengal Student Education Party. For fellow Liberians and fellow students of the University of Liberia, that we say here opening, it has been more than 120 days since Joseph Mwaka assumed the responsibility of serving as President of the Republic of Liberia. And it was interesting to know that the fair United Party government of Joseph Mwaka had a guts to tell that they have made 76 promises to the Liberian people. And of the 76 promises they have made, 74% was what they acquired in a school. Are you kidding me? Going to the streets, on sanitation, going to Renner Street, you will see that feces are still oozing. Feces are still oozing from the septic tanks. Going in Morovia, going to Central Morovia, but yet the Joseph Mwaka administration the guts to tell us that they were able to accumulate 74% and 26% of the promises in the world that the devils are still ongoing. So, commission friends, we want to say to you, that is the diabolical law, and this is what today the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party is going to respond decisively to the reactionary president in Joseph Mwaka. And we want to say, that NEMOD has been a democratic institution that has been Jamaican government. You can remember that NEMOD, during the regime of Mr. Weah, the former Buga president, came out with reports recognizing the failure of George Weah. And they see NEMOD was going to come out. Governmental Affairs of the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party, Comrade Adio Lord, Chakali Brandel, anything. The comments that we're saying, NEMO has been coming out with a report, Jamaican, the Weah's administration, and all of us in the Republic agreed to the report that NEMO came up with. So a few days ago, NEMO came out there with 107 promises made to the Liberian people. The United Party government has been able to obtain or to have achieved only 10% of the promises. Then you have more United Party government that will come to us and say to us, they have achieved 74% of the promises in the 100-day deliverables. This is why today, the Revolutionary Bengal Student Education Party, the institution that is charged with the mandate, was speaking on behalf and in behalf, the masses of the Liberian people are going to respond to the diabolical lies and machination of the old school president, of the 15th president in Joseph Mwaka.
now, the Bangladesh Unification Party at now.
Fellow journalists and fellow students of the University of Liberia, and fellow citizens of the Republic of Liberia, at this juncture, I would like to reduce my hand to usher in the man who has the revolutionary blessings in conformity with the constitutional traditions and the principles of the Revolutionary National Unification Party. Usher in the chairman of the Student Education Party, the most powerful man on the campuses of the University of Liberia and beyond the perimeters of the University of Liberia. So, therefore, Comrade Secretary General, Comrade Marco Shabazz Jello, I present to you and introduce you to progressive journalists in the Republic of the Liberian masses. Comrade Secretary General Mohammed Shabazz.
Enlightened students of Lucian Tilbury, revolutionary paladins of mass democracy, intellectual paragons and comparanos of the philosophy and doctrine of the sciences of revolution. Permit me to present you one revolutionary felicitation, gratification, and salutations from not only the control center but the ganglion of intellectual enlightenment. The Vanguard Unification Party. In addendum, and in proportional addition to the premise of the propaganda chair of the indomitable revolutionary Vanguard Student Unification Party, we want to say to you that Mr. Walker did not ascend to the presidency on the basis of a love contract with the Liberian masses. Mr. Walker ascended to the presidency because the masses of the Liberian people need a fundamental change in their conditions. This is the premise upon which the masses of the Liberian people casted a lot with Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker, who has proven to be a finting president, Mr. Walker, who has proven to be a surviving solar panel president. We want to say to him, as you continue to masquerade and dabbles in contradictions, the Vanguard Party is around, and she will continue to implement and practicalize her philosophical and fundamental existence. Mr. Walker promised to battle corruption, but today, even the institution or the ad hoc committee that was formulated to battle corruption is faced with corruption with itself. That clearly shows that Mr. Walker is not genuine and serious about the battle of corruption. In the period of 100 days, there have been several promises made by Mr. Walker to put the Liberian people in the gear of transformation. More than 100 days in administrative service, we have seen wanton betrayals, not only in the education sector, but in the deliverance of good governance. And this is why today, the Student Unification Party has called upon you, members of the media community, with the decent attribute of prudential journalism, to come and carry the position and the opinion of the Student Unification Party. Upon this premise, fellow comrades, fellow journalists, and fellow students, permit me to present to you the Dalai Lama, the Baba wa Taifa, and the Alaba of mass democracy. The man who has the singular moral rectitude to question the administrative barbarity, greed, and ineptitude of the Bouakas regime. The Bouakas regime is not operating in governance. They are masquerading in greed, ineptitude, and in the battle for political influence. While the masses of the Liberian people are neglected in poverty, destitution, and hardship continue to increase. Comrade Chairman, I present you to the students of the University of Liberia, to the journalists, and the masses of the Liberian people, to name Bwaka in the board.
Lonely, the fighting spirit of Jamaica 3.0 lonely. Lonely, the fighting spirit of Banga Party lonely. Oh, Super stay around, yo.
Where were you when I'm down? Where were you when I'm sick? Super ski, Namasa. Super ski, Namasa. Kichima. Kichima. Super Conto. Alae. Sutuki. Weka. Sutuki. Let the battle.
Party press statement for immediate release. Bwaka dabbles in wanton lies and contradictions. SUP officially responds to the Bwaka 100-day report, calls for the immediate revision of all concession agreements, and shows the Liberian masses of a new movement of struggle against the Bwaka's ineptitude and greed. Enlightened students of the University of Liberia, relentless and audacious patriotic citizens of the Republic of Liberia, our people in the rural shanty towns of our republic, the mine workers of our country, who are going through the horrific humiliation of capitalist exploitation and aggression, revolutionary soldiers and paladins of massacracy, aggressive media men and women with the decent attribute of prudential journalism, commerce and compatriot, from the citadel and control center of the revolutionary enlightenment, we convey to you warm fraternal salutations of unhindered massacracy nationalism of urgent patriotic attention. On January 2024, Bwaka promised the Liberian people of an agenda that will reflect change and shift the paradigm of governance in the country. In his ambitious but clueless plan, the old man made a commitment of delivering on key indicators in the first 100 days of his presidency. Interestingly, after more than 100 days in office, the Bwaka administration have only dabbled in wanton lies, deceit, and unimaginable contradictions. Since the taking over as president of our endeared national matrimony, Mr. Bwaka has proven to be a clueless old man whose so-called 42 years experience in government has proven nothing in the short-term experiment but massive poverty, hardship, and growing corruption.
Yo, the walking old man is dead, man. Yo.
42 years of wasting government, yo.
Commerce and fellow Liberians, the Vanguard Education Party uses this medium to critically examine the failed 100 days of Mr. Bwaka. In this response, we will focus on some cardinal sectors of the Liberian society, namely education, the economy, good governance, and the fight against corruption, security, water, and sanitation. On education, old man Bwaka promised to build and enhance the capacity of over 10,000 youths in ICT, and assuredly secure for Liberian students a means to benefit from foreign and local scholarships opportunities. However, the Bwaka government is yet to deliver on these promises despite over 100 days of its presidency. Such a broad-day deception shows the level of mischievousness that has engulfed the Bwaka Kun's leadership. The much heralded scholarship promises have become a mere flamboyant showmanship of empty braggadocio.
The so-called RCT link is down. Yo. You go apply your BT now. Yo.
With more than 100 days in power, Mr. Bwaka has brought no relief to the education sector, as all these promises are falling victim to deceit, lies, and unorthodox duplicity.
Reactionary tendency, mentality, lies. Yo, so checkmate your lies. Yo.
As education is a cardinal pillar in nation building, SUP is calling on old man Bwaka to stop playing games with the Liberian people. We believe that the Bwaka 100 days promises for education was just a boisterous verbal stunt wrapped in political rhetoric.
Yo! It has been indulged in cosmetic development. Yo! The University of Liberia is still deplorable. Yo! Manga!
On the economy, the Liberian economy is going through the abuse of mismanagement amidst the already prevailing economic hardship, high level of youth unemployment, and the skyrocketing of prices of local commodities and transportation. The Bwaka administration promised to restore the economic dignity and property of the Liberian people in 100 days, but this promise has proven more political, if not chronically pretentious. Patronage, cronyism, brown-nosed sycophancy, and nepotism are the new licenses of employment, thereby denying several qualified young Liberians the right and opportunity to serve their country and contribute to nation building as living young people with motorcycle and Lone Star and Orange meaning long walk hustle as a means of survival.
Yo! Zero employment. Yo! Bwaka is a deception. Yo! Manda!
Lack of adequate means of transportation continue to increase the price of transportation, hence shifting economic hardship on the Liberian masses.
It's a complete deception to the Liberian people.
Since the Bwaka leadership, poverty is on the rise, hardship is increasing, hunger and starvation are reaching new heights. Amidst all these challenges, old man Bwaka is flagrantly flying private jets across regions and bringing no economic benefit to the Liberian people.
Yo, the economy is sleeping together, Bwaka. Yo.
This is a clear demonstration that the Bwaka administration is an old wine in a new bottle, heading for immediate disaster. The Unity Party that campaigned on the people-centered promises has a rescue mission by promising to prioritize Liberians in the governance process to the extent that all government entities will be furnished with locally made furniture, is incongruently conflicting herself by acting otherwise in statecraft. After 100 days in office, Bwaka Executive Mansion Office, including the National Legislature, that he issued check for office reimbursement is furnished with imported office furniture from JMax, a foreign business enterprise, not locally made furniture is as promised. She wants to inform the Liberian people that the Bwaka administration has massively failed to provide young people with opportunities and deliver on the economy for the 100 days period. We are calling on the Liberian people to remain resilient in these troubling times of national discontent and man up to the Bwaka administration, administrative vulgarity and greed.
Yo, the Bwaka-led regime is a disaster ready to happen. Yo. Bwaka is doing business with being. Yo. Manda!
Atinao, after 100 days, Ministry of Public continue to protest for pain. Atinao. Joey has not been Ministry of Public, Bwaka will not be there. Yo. Manda!
On good governance and corruption, the Unity Party-led government though promised good governance in order to change the perception of national leadership, where many have believed to be a place for self-benefit and personal enrichment, to a place of honest service and accountability. Mr. Bwaka also lamented that he would dismiss any official in the act of corruption, that he will run a comprehensive audit of the outgoing government, and he will fight against the abuse of power, as he believes these are critical steps to ensure that his government serves the best interest of the Liberian people. Sadly and regrettably, the Bwaka regime has only shown this commitment in lip service, not in practical action. In recent times, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs has been facing an allegation of abuse of power by some members of the National Legislature, but the President has deliberately refused to act decisively and is giving the allegation a cold shoulder because it involves his old school friend, a typical act of cronyism.
Reactionary tendency. As a recovery team.
Bwaka also promised to launch a comprehensive audit of the rotten RIA regime. Disparagingly, this has been thrown into the trash can of MCC. The current asset and property retrieval task force has become a reservoir of unused simpletons, basking in power struggle, incompetence, greed, and insincerity, thus rendering the Bwaka so-called anti-corruption effort as a caricature masquerade.
We are still organizing.
In the period of 100 days, a government that argued restoring accountability and fighting corruption can arrest or retrieve any public resource from the vacated government of rogues and mafia dons.
Reckless Bwaka, Simple Bwaka, Zayo. Remind today, Zayo. Pens down Bwaka, Zayo.
As the Bwaka sees nothing wrong with the CDC handling of the state, even though that government is known notoriously as one of the most criminal administrations in the country's history.
corrupt Bwaka is protecting corruption. Yo. Viva, 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 viva. Bwaka must rescue the country or be rescued. Viva.
Commerce, a government that espouse and embrace anti-corruption philosophy is unable to even demand its officials to declare their assets and liabilities.
Only 25% of Bwaka appointees are declared assets.
Mr. Bwaka and most of his officials are yet to declare their assets and make them public for the Liberian masses to know exactly what they are bringing to government. This gross disregard for the promises made to the Liberian people is a clear manifestation of the sort of government Bwaka will be running in the years to come. It is becoming more glaring that a new bunch of criminals have taken siege of Liberian leadership structures.
A very corrupt and illegitimate at the MPA.
Like the CDC of Mr. Weir, old man Bwaka is basking in macro-nationalism by not prioritizing quality in public service, thereby using patronage and partisanship as the basis of employment.
Viva, 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 down hypothesis, viva.
It is shameless and pathetic that after a period long of criticizing Weir for incompetence, that the Unity Party government will be delegating national duties to high school delinquents, misfits, and apprentices who are doomed to fail.
The appointment at LBA can speak volume. Yo. Good on you, right? Fair and qualified. Yo.
All this have happened in just 100 days period. Let it be made clear here that the Vanguard Party is not surprised at all by the lack of political will of the Bwaka regime to fight corruption. The Bwaka regime is a conglomerate of bloodthirsty economic thugs who are desperately in search of its loots with the conceived perception that it is their time to preside.
Joseph Bwaka is a potential criminal. Say yo. He's here doing business as usual. Say yo.
Come as a friends, progressive journalists, SUP wants to inform the Liberian people that Omen Bwaka has massively failed in the pursuit of good governance and the fight against corruption in the period under review.
Joseph Bwaka is a symbol of corruption. Yo. He has failed to fight corruption. Yo. Manda.
Reactionary tendency. Telling that bring people. Telling the masses.
With audacious demand of fearless gallantry, the Studentification Party is calling on the Bwaka government to live up to its promises on the fight against corruption by not only auditing the Weir's government, but including the Unity Party 12 years maize rule under the old witch, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
She is a political down. Say yo.
Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. She's the last daughter of Jezebel. Yo.
On security. Young people are falling victim to substance abuse due to the high level of illicit drugs in the country. I reiterate, young people are falling victim to substance abuse due to high level of illicit drugs in the country. The government of Liberia declared drugs as a national emergency and promised to fast track the fight against illicit drugs and narcotics trafficking in its first 100 days.
Reactionary tendency. Reactionary tendency. Just infested Bwaka. So, a so-called hotel, a complete conspiracy. Yo.
After 100 days in national service, we see no defeat of Kut, but the incoming of a new brand, the zombie drugs, as the credit of the current government. The government fight against drugs has failed even before it began. Commerce. There have been heightened insecurity and growing waves of police barbarity under the Bwaka Kun's administration. These new waves of attacks demand the collective resolve of a masses-driven resistance force to organize and oppose the system. We are calling on our people to rally forces with the Vanguard Party to demand a safe, peaceful, and democratic Liberia where the rule of law and the freedom to assemble will be a fundamental component of the state.
Reactionary tendency. Reactionary tendency. Insecurity. Insecurity. The ghettos are more than the public schools.
Viva, viva, viva. Kill innocent people at Kinjo. Viva. Viva, 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 viva. Incompetent police. Viva.
Viva. Manda. Reactionary tendency. Reactionary tendency. Small talking. Small talking. Yo. We need Jackaros. Yo. Aluta.
SUP sees the 100 days deliverables that was anticipated to be a start-up to national growth and development as a foundation of national calamity as well as deception. The outcome of Mr. Bwaka's short-term agenda has created more problems than intended to address basic conditions of the people. The Vanguard Education Party grades the 12 key objectives of the Bwaka's 100-day deliverables at 0.5%.
Manda! Viva, 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 sucre, Bwaka 0.5%, viva. Viva, 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 viva. Bwaka can now go on and go viva. Yo, you're not even a professional student. Yo. 0.5%, yo.
There you the time you're in school, you're teaching me at 0.1, there you.
Let me reiterate. The Vanguard Party grades the 12 key objectives of the Bwaka's 100-day deliverables at 0%, contrary to the over 70% the regime is masquerading. On water and sanitation, commerce and friends, progressive journalists, ideological militants, and cadres of the Revolutionary Vanguard Education Party. Sanitation, hygiene, and access to clean water give the people a chance to flourish and survive. As a massive-driven party guided by the precepts and values of revolutionary politics, we believe that every Liberian citizen deserves and has the right to a clean environment and safe water. Clean water, clean environment, and good hygiene practices are essential for a society to thrive and flourish.
Yo, clean water. Yo. Decent sanitation. Yo. Manda. Viva. The 0.5% Bwaka fail or viva.
Against this background, we want to vociferously lament here that old man Bwaka did not only promise to clean the city of Monrovia of filth, but also promised to restore pipe-borne water in Monrovia, Kakata, Buchanan in 100 days. Disappointingly, the Bwaka Kun's regime has only worsened and exacerbated the dirtiness of the city of Monrovia in the period under review.
Say yo, people the most dangerous city in Liberia say yo. Say yo, whether it's contributing to death in Liberia say yo.
Say yo.
She was calling on the government to make good a promise on sanitation and reiterate its warning to the cocaine-infested mayor of Monrovia in John Safar to focus on his janitorial job of cleaning the city and stop the reckless harassment of peasant marketeers while the city is consumed by leaking feces and stinking dirt, thus leaving the Liberian people vulnerable to sicknesses and diseases.
Reactionnaire Tennessee. Reactionnaire Tennessee. Katumu. Say yo. Dirty people. Say yo.
She wants to remind Omer Bwaka that the restoration of pipe-borne water was not only promised to Monrovia, but also Kakata and Bikano. It is sad that the government is trekking on this path of lies and deception so early. We want to categorically state here that the Bwaka's government has failed to deliver on sanitation and water as promised in the 100 days deliverable. Comrades and friends, fellow compatriots, with utmost disdain and appalling contempt, the Vanguard Communication Party condemns the outrageous and abominable barbarity being discharged by Beer Mountain, Western Cluster, ArcelorMittal, and other foreign concessions companies on Liberian soil against innocent and striving Liberian masses. In February this year, the B Mountain Company, through the Liberian National Police, unleashed a reign of terror on innocent mine workers in King George, Grand Cape County for lawfully challenging the dehumanization and capitalist exploitation meted against them. The episode in King George is an eye-opening moment to expose the several exploitations taking place across the different concessions camps in the country. Like the killing of our people in King George, we believe there are more horrendous happenings at Western Cluster, Channel Union, and other concession sites. As capitalism has proven to be a tool against the interests of the less privileged, using the state at the execution of its devilish economic bloodthirsty interests, should hold the Liberian government responsible for this wanton abuse against our people and most definitely the killing of innocent lives in King George.
Yo! Baka kill the people in King George. Yo! Baka kill the innocent masses in King George. Yo! Reactionary Tennessee! Reactionary Tennessee! Kill our regime! Kill our regime! Yo! Super take on the Baka's regime. Yo!
Comrades and friends, courageous militants, cadres, and stars of the Revolutionary Vanguard Communication Party, Joseph Human Bwaka is a murderer.
He's a terrorist. Yo!
In this regard, SUP stands in strong solidarity with the people of Grand Cape County and will do all in our revolutionary energy going forward to defend the rights of mine workers in Liberia.
Viva, 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 viva! Justice for the people of Grand Cape County, viva!
Viva!
Comrades and friends,
The party of people social justice. Yeah.
comrades and friends, fellow Liberians, progressive journalists, the Vanguard Communication Party demands the revision of all concession agreements so as to ascertain whether these multinationals and exploitative mining institutions have been living up to their minimal development agreement.